Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things Podcast. It's Wednesday. It can mean only one thing. It's Walking Dead Wednesday here on the show. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead, it's my partner in crime, Stefan.
I am here once again. How's it going?
Once again?
Yeah. I'll start singing.
Yeah. Don't do that. We don't want to inflict that on anybody.
No.
We are back. It is Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 Episode 14. Title of the episode was...
Divine Providence.
Which he said really early on. I didn't have to wait at all this week.
You know what? I missed it completely. Completely.
So, but literally, you got the whole shaving scene, cold open.
Yeah.
And Strand walks up, he's like, Alicia's here. And he goes up there and he goes, Divine Providence.
No, I completely missed that. I was about to say to you, what was the point of the title? But there you go.
No. Very early on. Yeah, I think that's what threw you.
At that point. Yeah.
Yeah, it threw you, clearly. So yeah, I want to start the episode this week, the podcast, basically talking about the show in general. We've talked a lot about it in the last few weeks as well, just about it's feeling a little bit disconnected. It's feeling like we're not really... I can speak to me. I'm not really into 7B. I find it difficult to get into it. And we had a few messages last week from people basically feeling the same way and sort of picking out a few things as well. And we've had a few more this week.
Nice, okay.
So would you like, should we go through them?
Yes, please. Let's do this.
See, I've said this, and now I'm looking around my desk frantically.
I've just checked my emails, and you guys suck. No, I've got still no emails. Come on, my name is not that difficult to spell. It's not that difficult.
It could just be that they just don't like you.
It could also be that I probably set this up wrong and it doesn't work.
To be fair, most of the emails that come into Sam at or via the website are addressed to me and you.
Oh, okay.
So it could just be Sam is an easier thing to spell than Stefan, or shorter. People are lazy.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one. I see. I hand wrote these so I wouldn't forget the names, and I wrote some of them phonetically. Nice. And now I can't read my handwriting.
Sam Butcher's name.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. The first one is from Pierre. Pierre is in Canada, but doesn't say where. Big place, Pierre. But I'm guessing one of the French parts. Just a wild stab in the dark. Pierre says, listen to the podcast, enjoying your take on things. I, like you, have been a little bit confused. I really enjoyed 7A, and was really looking forward to finding out whether Alicia was the cure, what's going on with her. Let's really explore that. And it just feels like we're stumbling around, not getting anywhere. Be interesting to see what you think of this coming up episode. I have already seen it. So I'm guessing this is an AMC Plus customer in Canada. I didn't know that was a thing. To be honest with you, I think if I looked online, I could probably find it as well. But
yeah.
I am not rushing that. I'm not going to lie. And we will come to why in a few moments.
Yeah.
But I think Pierre sums up how we're feeling. So, yeah, there's not really much more to say on that. Sarah from Lancashire in England. Sarah says, hey guys, thought I'd get in touch after listening to you read out comments last week. I am still enjoying it. I do get what you're talking about. It does feel a little bit all over the place, but I think I'm just focusing on the characters that I enjoy and seeing them get screen time. Maybe it's all about perspective when we're watching the episodes. I'm not looking at the overarching story, just the individual stories in each episode as if it was episodic TV. Love to you both. Hope you're both well.
It's not a bad way looking at it. Not a bad way. That's like, The Walking Dead concentrating on Jerry and Rosita. So, yeah, makes sense.
I'd watch the shit out of that show. Jerry. Okay. But yeah, thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate you taking the time. We've got two more. This one, now, I'm pretty sure this is Ian, but it's spelled Iain.
Yeah, Ian.
Yeah, Ian from Dundee. I am so tempted to try a Scottish accent right now. I'm not going to do it, though. You're lucky, Ian. I'm not going to do it, lad. Yeah. No, see, that's awful.
Wee lad.
I can do accents all the time, and I do them naturally messing about. But the minute I put myself on the spot, I just revert to some weird hybrid accent. It just doesn't mean anything. But anyway, thank you, Ian. Ian says, Ian, I think, goes to the Stefan School of Subtlety.
Uh-oh. This could be bad. Am I going to have to censor this?
No. You're good. Well, yeah, there's a language warning. Ian says, what a load of shite. Been watching the show since the beginning, stumbled through the first 3 series, thinking to myself, I don't know why I'm bothering, I think I'll stop. Watched series 4 because they introduced Morgan in a crossover, and I thought, okay, shit could get interesting. It didn't. I've now reached the second part of season 7, and I've realised the only reason why I was watching the show is literally because I loved Morgan from The Walking Dead, and the fact that I really liked John Dory, and they bloody went and killed him off. Was quite happy to see how they'd finished that storyline, because clearly John Dory Sr. was just an extension of John Dory, and now they've killed him off. Gotta be honest with you, I'm completely lost. Strand's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. Oh, no, he's part of the group, part of the family. Now he's a bad guy again. And we go round and around. Now I understand Madison's coming back, and they can quite frankly stick this show up their ass. Thank you very much for all the fun we've had listening. I won't be listening to any more Fear podcasts. I will return when you guys talk about The Walking Dead. And hey, if you're lucky, I'll even check out a few of your other shows too. Thanks, Ian.
Ian, wow. Okay. When you went down the Stefan School of Thought, I generally was expecting when he went, the only reason I watch this now is for Alicia, because that's the only thing on this show worth watching. And that's where I thought that was going. But,
no. See, not everyone's as horny as you, I think, is the general gist of where we're going.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So, Ian is a fan of the podcast, and maybe not so much Fear the Walking Dead. I love that. I stumbled through 3 seasons, went, oh, Morgan. Nope, still shit.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's proper tickled me.
Well, can you imagine, like, an AMC exec or someone, like, reading that? Like, oh, we've got this fan, he's dedicated, he's watched every episode of 7 seasons, and he literally describes it as walking through shite. Yeah. And our final comment.
Listen to our podcast.
Our final comment is one I'm probably gonna butcher, and I'm really sorry. I think this is pronounced Alpesh.
Okay, I'm putting it together. I'm actually crying. That email had me in tears. Oh, it was just Morgan's here. Nope, still shit.
we're gonna have to wait a moment whilst the man gets his stuff together. We'll play a little music in the background, just let you know, get your stuff together. You alright? Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, hold music off. Okay. Okay, I think I'm saying this wrong, and I really apologise. Alpesh. It's spelled Alpechie. Alpesh. I'm really sorry, my friend. Please message me again and let me know how awful I've done for you here. He has messaged, not said where you're from, but has messaged in just to say, been listening to the podcast. I kind of get what you guys are saying. It is a difficult or more difficult watch this time around because it is disjointed. I do wonder if that's deliberate though. Alicia is kind of like our narrator for the show, a point of view character, and she is literally all over the place. I do fear, he said, I do fear that perhaps we are going to get some sort of strange, all of this aspect was a fever dream, how much of it, etc. But at the same time, I think it's gone on too far now that they're not gonna do that. I understand Madison's back really soon. I'm guessing that links to the end of this episode. Yeah, I think you're right. Interested to know what you guys think about Madison returning. She was not a character I enjoyed. I know Sam was with me on that one. However, I do think the show needs something because it's floundering. See, now, this is an interesting thing. You make that point that it's floundering. It's only floundering since they announced Madison coming back. Now, I realise I sound like I've got an agenda here, and I really do sound like, and I'm trying not to.
I thought you said, and I really do. I hate that character.
I was tempted to go that far, yes, but my agenda, I guess, is the fact that she had her time in the show, had her time as the lead of the show. She was a character that a lot of people enjoyed, a lot of people didn't, and a lot of people simply switched off because they couldn't warm to her, couldn't relate to her, but did warm to Alicia, Nick, and obviously a lot of people had affection for Morgan. You can't have multiple leads to a show. You just can't. It just doesn't work. In The Walking Dead, you say, oh, massive ensemble cast, all the leads. The lead was Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's, loads of characters, loads of co-stars. The star was Rick Grimes.
He left, Daryl took over, sort of thing. Yeah, it was very...
In Fear the Walking Dead, it was Madison with a lot of co-stars, and then it's become kind of Morgan with co-stars, but this series, they seem to really be pushing Alicia more to the fore and Morgan back into a secondary role.
Yeah, I'd say again, 7A was the Morgan show, 7B has been a Alicia show.
Which again, okay, that's fine if that's the way you want to tell your story, that's the way to do it. But we've basically now got a situation where Morgan's gone. We don't know for how long, or if permanently, or what. We have no idea. For all we know, he's going to rock up in The Walking Dead with a baby. So there's that.
That'd be confusing as hell.
Mate, that'd just be hilarious, wouldn't it? Imagine that conversation with people. Hey, everyone, where's Rick? He died quite a long time ago. Morgan, why have you got a kid? No, it's a new one. I found it.
Yeah.
Moving on. The one thing about that is I still don't know where the timelines sync up between Fear and The Walking Dead, by the way.
Yeah, because we've had jumps on each one, but we don't know if they jumped the same amount or different. Or...
No, I'm fairly confident Fear jumped forward to allow Morgan to cross over, but then has been moving
slower
at a normal seasonal pace.
Yeah.
Whereas The Walking Dead, then after Morgan left, took a massive jump forward.
And then jumped again, and then in the last season, jumped again. So,
Jump for your love. Yeah, so going back to that point, I have no idea what's going to come. You are right. I think the end of this episode does set up Madison rocking up again.
You called it with the transmission. You called it.
Yeah. Well, it was. We knew it was coming, so it was like looking for an obvious in, and it's been kind of the thing ever since the start of this. So that I must send out the signal, Padre, and all this crap. Mate, you like to go onto IMDb, check a few things, check to see if there's anything funny, check to see if there's any
what the
really ratings
funny.
have been. Yeah. Now, out of interest, we know that AMC Plus in the USA get to watch the show a week in advance. So
they do.
Next week's episode is already titled with a thumbnail, and the thumbnail for next week's episode appears to be Madison.
Oh no, it definitely, there's no appear. That is like a screenshot of her.
Which but someone might have uploaded a bit of a thumbnail, which is not.
Yeah.
So it would appear that Madison is in next week's episode. That's what we're guessing. We're not going to go too much into it because, of course, we can literally look up the whole thing right now, but we're not going to.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, and next week's episode does have Madison, and AMC Plus viewers have seen that episode, that means that the hardened Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead fans, the people who have paid for AMC Plus, and I've looked at that service, basically the people who have that are Walking Dead fans.
I would believe so.
Yes, there are some other stuff on demand, but actual creating new content, Walking Dead fans. So you would say, without a doubt, that you are if you're going to give a rating for an episode currently, and it's open to only Walking Dead fans, you would expect that rating to be higher than if once the whole general world public have seen it. Would you agree with that?
It's like, so obviously we do other shows in the podcast, and we know that this Friday Obi-Wan comes out. Now,
that would be the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus, debuting the 27th of May with episodes 1 and 2. Check your podcast via our social media. We will be talking about those first 2 episodes very soon. Thank you.
But if you imagine that goes out to the world on Friday, but Disney Plus have done a thing of, you know what, for $9.99, you guys can have it on Thursday. Well,
so only the hardcore Star Wars fans,
So therefore, you would expect the ratings for that to be through the roof because they are the Star Wars fanatics that want to watch it.
Yeah.
And then Thursday night, this episode is like 8 out of 10 stars because And then Friday, every Tom, Dick, and Harry watches it.
Yeah.
Those that don't really care about it and they go, 2 stars. That was a bit crap.
Yeah, and it balances out. Yeah,
same sort of
That's
thing
fair.
as what you'd expect with this.
And I've since we spoke, I've had a little look myself, and basically that is what's happened with Fear the Walking Dead. So if you look back over the ratings for the episodes on IMDb, typically you're going to get a rating in the low 8, 7s. But when you look a week later, which I think is the data you have now, they're dropping to 6s. Am I right?
Yeah, so the first half of the season we had like 7.2s and then 5.7, 6.4, 6.8s. Mainly, and then we had like a 5.9 but a 7.3, so it kind of balanced
we'd say
the high 6s as an average. Part B turned up with Follow Me 5.5, Morning Cloak 5.2, Ophelia 6.4, 6.2, 6.3, this week's episode 6.2. So we've now dropped to the low 6s.
Okay, so B is still doing okay, but rating wise it's lower.
Yeah.
Now next week's episode then has been viewed by AMC Plus subscribers, Walking Dead fans. Therefore, we'd be anticipating the rating for this to be higher. Would that be fair?
That would be fair.
What's the rating on IMDb for next week's Madison return, mate?
Just before I say that one, I will just say, so it actually tells me how many people have rated it.
Oh, okay.
So The Raft last week, 425 people, 6.3. Okay. This week's episode, we're up to 402, 6.2. So 260 people, 260, over half of the last 2, have already voted on IMDb. So this is the big Walking Dead fans.
Yeah.
They gave it a huge... it's got a 9 in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 3.9.
Welcome back, Madison, the saviour of the show.
Apparently has just completely crashed the score. Like, the scores are going down. We know that, and we are going to talk about this episode, I promise. We're almost 20 minutes in. We will talk about this episode, I promise.
Yeah.
But 3.9, that's the AMC Plus hardcore Fear and The Walking Dead fan base.
Yeah.
What the hell have they done?
To be fair, we've not seen the episode yet. So if this is a bunch of Madison fans raging and she shows up and Alicia shoots her thinking it's a fever dream, they're not going to be happy. Me, on the other hand, this episode will be 10. 10, 10. I will set up dummy accounts and bots to rate the episode 10 for all of time. But yeah, do you know when Madison, the character, was killed off, I played at the start of the podcast, Ding Dong, the witch is gone, and everything like that.
It was amazing.
We lost nearly 50 listeners who sent angry-ass messages in, right? The funniest thing, or the thing that I find really funny, is all of those... I say we lost, okay? All of those people went crazy at me over that. They were really angry. And okay, that's fine. It was your opinion, it was my opinion, you didn't like it. It's your choice what you consume. You know, you can listen to this, you don't have to. That's fine. However, I can tell you, because I'm a stalker and I get the analytics, every single one of those people came back to us over the course of time.
Hey,
and every single one of you will still be listening this week. And so all of you, you'll know who you are. You emailed me. I would very much like it if next week when she returns... Bring on the emails. Let me know what you think. Genuinely, let me know what you think. So that's that. We've talked enough about the series as a whole. Let's talk about this episode.
Yes.
Alicia and her army are at the stand thing. Strand and Alicia talk via the phone, and he invites her in. Alicia rocks up, and Daniel shows up as well. Basically barges his way in. Makes me laugh because one of these big burly guys who's a ranger says, "You nearly broke my neck." So I've written this in 3 different places throughout my notes. Daniel's a badass.
Yes, Daniel. Yeah, he is.
He is an absolute badass. So let's begin with me asking you a couple of questions about the Alicia Strand dynamic with this.
Okay.
So Strand has been built for us in this of insane paranoia.
Yep.
He's gone mad with power, basically.
Yep.
That's the depiction we've had, would you say?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Do you think that was all his beard?
He's cut the beard off and all of a sudden now he's like, oh, Alicia, I love you.
Yeah, because he has been depicted to us to be quite on edge on a regular basis in this show, this season. And because of that, we've all kind of gone along the kind of like, he's always had this in him. He's really paranoid, really on edge. This all makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, this, everything he's doing, Strand is being Strand. Okay, we're getting to see a cool villain who and the best thing about it is we've kind of watched him from the start, so we're kind of getting like the Negan arc. If we'd followed Negan from, would we still think of him as the bad guy? Well, literally, Strand's throwing people off the roof for nothing. He is a bad guy. He is, Negan didn't kill people, like he branded them with irons and all that stuff, but Strand's murdering people, so he is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And so I was really kind of like, in all of this where I've been moaning and stuff, I've been kind of like, okay, that's an arc. That's something that's interesting. This is good. Come on, bring this on. In this episode, he shaves off his beard and he just reverts to this puppy. This Clark family puppy that he became, where all of a sudden he starts talking about, I did this for you, Alicia.
But he didn't do it for Alicia because he did everything to keep her away from the place. But
Stefan, he did that for her because he had to do what he had to do, and he protected her from that.
Oh,
are you not seeing that? It's such an obvious thing. No, it's shite.
I genuinely thought we've said about this before, but it's almost as if an episode or something has gone missing.
Yeah, no, we've had messages like this where other people have said it, and I've looked online on Twitter and I've seen a few discussions the same. It feels like on a regular basis, because like when you watched the first episode of 7B, and we both went, crap, did we forget one? Have we missed one? Because it just felt completely out of nowhere. A lot of people felt that.
Missed a step out. Like it's like you were reading a book and someone's torn out 3 pages and you haven't noticed. And you've just carried on reading and you're like, oh wait a minute, who's that character? Where'd they come from? Why are they here?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, it was confusing. It was genuine. But a few people on Twitter, for example, are having conversations, and I kind of just read in and I thought, oh yeah, this is a good way of putting it. Every episode feels like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like every episode feels like you've had 15 to 20 minutes cut from it that would make everything make more sense.
100%.
And I read that and I was like, yeah, I see what you mean. Actually, I do completely get what you mean. And I'm sort of watching it, and like, so for like this episode, the idea that Strand has a shave and now is a different guy is weird, but okay, we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, we'll accept it.
Him and Alicia, he lures Alicia into the building. He sends. By the way, he delivers a line at this point where I'm still like, oh, okay, he is still Victor then, because he take Daniel to the basement, and Alicia's like, don't you hurt him. It's like, no, that's what the roof's for. And I'm like, okay, he is still nasty bastard Victor. Yeah. Okay, see, because go on.
One of the bits I didn't get from even before this is Alicia has brought the army of people there for a war. She is there to take the tower.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come in for one drink then. All right, I'll come talk to you. Okay. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, like, if you've just brought an entire army of people, you've done all of this to lead all those walkers away.
Yeah.
You've then taken your army there to storm the tower, and then you turn around and go, yeah, do you know what? Actually, I'll have a drink.
I would say the only thing I would say to that is I think due to her family, due to the connection with Strand, I think it's a real possibility. Like Morgan said to her, you've been time wasting. you've been delaying doing this, the inevitable, what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants to kill him. I don't think she actually wants to be killing anyone. I think she just looks at it as, I've not got a lot of time left. So in her mind, if she can walk in and have a drink with Strand, and Strand says, okay, if you stay here with me, Alicia, I'll let everyone live here as well, but they can't have guns, she'll think that's a compromise. That'll work.
Maybe, yeah.
But the other thing as well is, like, she takes that signal thing in with her, which Wes finds and is like proof that she can't be trusted.
Good old Super Wes.
Yeah, let's talk about that character for a moment. So,
what the actual... What?
We talk about feeling like things have been missed and feeling like stuff's been kind of accelerated almost. Like where did this come from?
The writers basically realised, we haven't actually got a proper bad guy because Strand's going to come good. Wes, you'll do. You can be a bad guy for a couple of episodes. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. So he's gone from, I'm part of the group. I've just had to kill my brother in a bunker because he's a bad guy. I'm part of the group.
Yeah.
Yay, team living. And then he instantly goes, but, Luciana told a lie, so I'm going to go live with Strand now. And then, and then he's now gone full on, nope, we're going to kill Alicia and everyone because she's a liar. And still on Strand's side. And now he's against Strand as well because Strand's a liar. And now when you're just watching it and you're going, I don't get it. I don't understand this at all.
No, I know, and that's it's a valid critique because he as a character basically got fed up with being around the group because he felt they were two-faced. He felt they preached peace and love, but in reality they were no better than Strand. Now, so to me, when he said that and he wandered off, I thought to myself, okay, well, look, he's made that decision, whatever. Are we going to see him again? I wonder if we'll see him in some capacity. Who knows? But he's gone. When he immediately rocked up with Strand, I was baffled. I was blown away by that because it was like, well, that makes no sense.
Yep.
That, if you were literally saying you're all as bad as each other, then why would you then, okay, you're all as bad as each other, so I'm going to leave you to join him? That doesn't make sense.
Which basically but then his rationale, wasn't it? His rationale was, Strand's the same as you, but he admits it.
Yeah, then that's kind of like, wow, I don't get that. Like, okay, well, you're a Nazi, he's a neo-Nazi. You're pretending you're not, and he just like wears the swastika on his arm, so I'm on his team.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I really don't get it. I mean, he is a character who's kind of been there, some storylines. And it did feel like perhaps he's leaving the show and they were like, oh crap, we need to give him something, an exit.
Yeah, do you remember when he first came in the show and it was just some random dude painting things on trees?
Yeah.
And even then it was like, well, this is a weird character. I don't see where this is going to go. And then his character dies and you go, where did it go exactly?
Yeah. When you see stuff like... Because the other thing as well is like character deaths and stuff like that need to be impactful.
Yeah.
If you've had a character in a show for X amount of time, if you've got anything that's going on, you need to feel the impact of a loss. And right now, we've got one character in Charlie who is dying and seemingly is gone. Like there's
definitely
no help
off
for
camera as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just dying, fading away. And you've got Wes, who has been killed by Victor, ironically. I just look at this and I'm sort of thinking to myself, what impact did this character have and what impact did his death have? Did his impact of his death mean that Alicia will never forgive Strand now, like they're insinuating? I'm sorry, I just don't get that she would have done anyway. He's literally been throwing people off the roof,
including some guy whose necklace she's now wearing because they knew each other for 6 months.
Well, it was a necklace that Victor gave Alicia, which she then gave the guy. Yeah. The guy got into the tower because of the necklace. Victor then killed the guy. She took the necklace off the guy's, walking or crawling corpse. And is wearing it again, and Strand's like, oh, you're wearing the necklace, you still love me. And she's like, yeah, I took off the body of the guy you killed.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a strange... And like you say, I don't see how Alicia was ever going to forgive Strand. I don't think it was going to happen. No. So they've kind of built up this storyline and then killed Wes off to kind of, make us go, you're right, she never was going to forgive him.
Well, and here's the thing as well, okay? So, Alicia has been through a lot. Alicia's been a survivor in the apocalypse and came out of the city area of LA and stuff like that. So, she is someone who is battle hardened. She is someone who has seen it all. She understands that sometimes you are going to have to put a person down to survive in this world. And she gets it, and she has done. She wants to avoid it if she can, since her and Morgan had the all life is precious talk. But she understands it. She does understand it, and you know that. Wes was literally about to execute her, and I mean literally about to have her killed. This isn't a guy that you're redeeming. This isn't a guy who's like threatening you, but not actually threatening you. You know, kind of like, oh, we're on the different teams right now. He literally was about to have you killed until Daniel stepped in. So you're then having a standoff with him, and Victor kills him. He's like, he wasn't going to back down, Alicia. It was going to be you or him.
Yeah.
I don't actually see in that moment what the hell she's ticked about. You know, I don't, like, oh, you killed Wes. Wes was about to kill you. It's not.
Yeah, he had already shot one guy, and he had two people there.
He literally just shot Daniel.
Yeah.
No, he literally just shot Daniel. Daniel, are you okay? Yeah. He shot Daniel in the chest. He wasn't trying to hit him in the leg. It wasn't a warning shot.
However, to be fair to Daniel, he walks off that bullet shot to the chest.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Well, that's because Daniel's a badass.
Yeah.
CIA trained. But you just compartmentalize your brain from the pain and move on.
He had just walked into the room with two armed people, and they were about to kill them. And she's like, "Oh, but you hurt him. You killed him. What'd you do that for?"
Yeah, well,
but he was literally about to kill us.
Because he was about to kill us. And she's like, "Oh, you did that for yourself." Well, maybe he did, but he was about to kill you, regardless of why Strand did it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So another point with that, okay, so I know we're kind of all over the place with this, but to be honest with you, this episode's all over the place, so I'm not going to apologise for that again.
Okay, yep.
Strand kills Wes.
Yes.
Daniel, working his way through the building, has been taking people out left, right and centre.
Yep.
Daniel has been headshots. Other than the guy he strangled, he's been headshotting people.
Yes.
And it's deliberate, and you can see it. And he's trained, and the difference between, again, trained and untrained is great, and I like that. Any show that depicts that, I think, is good. Victor stabs Wes through the chest, stomach, generally impales him. So he's a walker now. Yeah,
there's no one's shown him being, off camera. They did it like. So for me,
can we surmise there are several in the tower now? Probably, because Daniel is headshotting, but there's probably a couple because Victor killed a couple.
Yeah,
Alicia, so there's probably 5, 6 walkers at least now in the tower.
And we saw it even in The Walking Dead. Remember how that one died upstairs in the house and then took out half of Alexandra? Yeah.
Yeah.
So before the episode, unfortunately, I was on Instagram sharing something on our Instagram page.
Yeah.
And a picture came
hang on. Sorry, we have an Instagram page?
We do have an Instagram page. Stuff_and_things_podcast. Because they don't let you have it all
stuff
together.
_things_podcast?
Yeah. It's good. Every now and again, I remember we have it and I post stuff to it. So keep an eye out because... irregularity is my regularity.
You're not selling it, dude.
Everything that goes on the Facebook page goes onto the Instagram page. There's just sometimes more of a delay than others.
Well, that means they could just follow us on Facebook. You need to be different. You need to sell it. You need to say
follow us on Instagram for really cool content from all your favourite stuff and things.
There you go. Well done. I'll just clip that. I won't read the rest of it. Okay, carry on.
But there was a picture from the guy that plays Wes, and it was, I've really enjoyed my time as Wes. And I saw that about 20 minutes before I watched the episode, and I was like, okay. Well, on the plus side, I have an epic thank for that moment coming up. So, here we go. And then he got stabbed. And when he died, I was like, that was less than I thought it would be, actually. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
But like you say, there's like potential of 5 to 6 different walkers in the building now. Unless someone is following along just going, nope, 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 in all of them.
Well, Yeah, which again would be off camera and wouldn't be surprising because they seem to do a lot off camera on this show. Daniel obviously is helped them get to a point in the building with everyone, because, by the way, as well, here's something I'm a little bit confused about. So, the building originally belonged to that guy who died last week, Howard?
Howard, yep.
Okay. The Rangers obviously originally were Ginny's Rangers and then became Strand's Rangers.
Yep.
Okay, so they have followed Strand from a different location to this building.
Yep.
Bringing their families into the building, etc. Safety in this building.
Yeah.
They have followed Strand. Strand is their leader. Strand has served them well. They are safe and happy under Strand.
Yes.
Howard was the number 2. They were happy with Howard. Howard did his role. They obeyed Howard's orders. No problem at all. When Howard, however, fell foul of Strand, not one Ranger stood up for him. He was gone, dead, no one cared.
Yep.
Okay. They've been working together with Howard, Strand, and the Rangers for months.
Yes.
Wes has been there a week.
And completely taken over because look at Strand.
All of the Rangers.
Yeah.
All of them. I get that maybe one or two might think, yeah, Wes, you got a point. But are you telling me that every single Ranger in that building went, oh, actually, let's not follow the guy who we've been following for over a year? The guy that took over from Ginny, the guy that we've basically has provided this safety for our families. Let's ignore him and follow the overgrown teenager who's having some sort of tween life crisis at the moment about liars. It doesn't make sense. Like, literally, there's so much stuff in this show that is, I don't get it. It's like they haven't followed it up on it, or there's something missing. Why in the hell would they follow him? What possible reason could he give them? Like, oh, he's going to hand the tower over to other people. No, he's not. Yeah, he is. Trust me. Why would we trust you? You've been here a week.
Yeah. Yeah, like, there's all this thing of the last kind of episodes of these traitors and people inside the tower and all this lot. And not one of the Rangers has turned around and gone, well, clearly you've just been sent in here to disrupt things. Off you go.
What?
Yeah.
Me and you questioned how in the hell Wes would become Strand's number 2. And that on its own is a stupid ass arc.
See, I think I've worked it out.
The fact that... Oh, okay, go on.
He's got a beard.
He did have a beard. Lovely beard.
Got a beard.
And beard equals death, by the way. He should have shaved. Yeah. But the idea that the Rangers turn on Strand for Wes... Come on. Please, I mean, everyone listening, I mean, I know a lot of people are, and they're possibly even rolling their eyes at how heavy I'm going in on this, but does anyone else agree with that? Anyone else look at that and just think, that makes no sense? It's like, why would they? It just, I really struggle with it. And genuinely, if you think to yourself, well, maybe this, please email me, because I rack my brains over these things, which is so sad, I know. But I do proper torture myself on stuff like this. Like, we podcast on things, and I do think about it, and I do overthink it, and like I cannot find anything, even a dumb reason. Like a few things we've kind of gone, I don't get it personally, but I think this is the reason they've done this.
You can understand why, even if you don't get it.
Yeah, like, I don't get it, but I think this is why. With this, no.
Yeah, like, perfect example,
No.
Alicia going into the building for a one drink. I don't get why she would do it, but I can understand what they're trying to say. Like you said, that the whole doesn't actually want to kill Strand because there is a connection there. Can we work something out? I'm looking at it going, yeah, but she wants to take the tower and has told him it's war, so why is she not? And you're like, yeah, but this is why. And I'm like, nah, bit crap, but okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Where's? No, I don't get it. I just don't get it at all.
No. So one of the little things to talk about is Daniel. Daniel, as we said, is a badass. He worked his way through the building, no problem at all.
Yeah.
He is reunited with Charlie. It's kind of a sad moment. I mean, Daniel Blaze as an actor is phenomenal. And him playing a guy with clear dementia, memory issues in the apocalypse is becoming quite an interesting character point for him. And it's certainly added something to the Daniel character, which perhaps had become stale, perhaps had become very one-dimensional. So it enables him to really show his acting chops, I think. And he being lied to about Ophelia, but then having the realization and sitting with Charlie was actually quite a nice moment.
Yeah.
Of course, it's horrific that Charlie's dying. I'm kind of looking at that like this feels so. Is that kid about to turn 18? Does anyone know? Is it she's about to get paid adult rates like poor old Carl was? Because they're just killing her off over nothing. Like, oh, we're going to give you an episode where you get to have a bit of a romance with a boy, and you're going to kiss him, and basically that's going to kill you. So, a lesson to all you teenage girls out there, kissing boys equals death.
Yeah, don't do it!
Yeah, if my daughter's listening, I mean it, yeah. So, I mean, we got that, I mean, that's kind of okay. Alicia and Strand go to the roof. The basic idea is that Strand's lured her in, then he's got his rangers to round up a herd, and then this radioactive herd is going to be drawn to the building by the light on top, destroying Alicia's army, and then Alicia's kind of stuck with him forever. That's his diabolical scheme.
And yeah, again, it's just one of those facepalm moments of you're planning all of this, and then you're telling Alicia, but you're the only family I've got, I love you so much. However, I'm going to kill everyone that you know in a horrible radioactive death.
Yeah.
But it means you might love me so you can stay here because you'll be trapped. I'm just like, it hurts. It hurts my brain.
He obviously thinks Stockholm Syndrome is going to work out for him, but I just, again, okay, all right, fine, it's happening, this is what's going on. Alicia manages to convert Strand. Strand's now ready to turn the beacon off, and he actually fights through Rangers and tells Daniel the truth and doesn't get killed by Daniel because Alicia stops Daniel, and Strand's being Team Alicia again, and then they get to the roof and she's like, okay,
do it!
The team are, and he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't turn it off because, you'll never forgive me.
It's well, not if you don't turn the bloody beacon off. And
yeah, I mean, they then have a fight, which is lame. But they have a fight because neither of them are trying to actually hurt each other.
Yeah.
Which annoyed me. And then we have a situation where, due to their fight and the sort of stuff getting thrown around, the beacon actually gets trashed. And the beacon then sets the whole roof on fire.
Because Alicia put her weird claw hand through an oil barrel.
Yeah. Alicia climbs up the tower thing to connect her radio transmission and then kind of passes out from her, because of how sick she is.
Yeah, see, her
Strand
sickness is something I've actually got circles, so we'll come back to that.
All right, well, we'll finish with that, because Strand then says, this fire is going to rip through the whole building. And so the group have got in on the ground floor. We know there's going to be some walkers dotted around inside, but they've sealed the doors so the radioactive ones are released outside.
Yeah.
And we've seen that obviously there's a lot of people in the tower. There's still going to be Rangers in the tower.
Who we
Strand's
don't know
on the roof.
Whose side the Rangers are on, because Strand's just been killing them and Wes is dead. So whose team are they now on?
Oh, who knows? And frankly, at the moment, who cares? So yeah, so that's how the episode ends. She puts this signal out there, given the coordinates. She says her name is Alicia Clark, which I think is to me, it was like ding, 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 ding. We know Madison's going to hear this now.
Yeah.
So that is.
Oh, and then she passes out above the flames.
You got it. So that is that there. You want to talk about Alicia's sickness to wrap up?
Yeah. Apart from the fact that she's now slowly roasting on a barbecue because she's passed out on a metal grill above fire.
Alicia roasting on an open fire.
Like, it's one of those things. So when we first met Alicia. Well, not when we first met, when we first came back at the end of season A, part A.
Yeah.
And we don't realise that she's got the hand, we see the whole bite thing, and we're like, oh my god! And we don't realise she's been bitten because she's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
There is nothing, she looks a bit worse for wears, but there's nothing wrong with her that entire time. And then we get the flashback.
Certainly not that we see.
Yeah.
No.
And then we get the flashback. And ever since we've had the flashback, it's been like every 20, 30 minutes. Oh, I feel faint. Oh, the fever. And I'm like, what? Like, we followed her for like an entire episode of her being absolutely fine. because the whole point was meant to be that, oh my God, she's been bitten, what's going to happen? And then we were like, oh no, she's already been bitten months ago, it's fine. The fever broke, she's fine. And now she can't walk up a flight of stairs without collapsing at the top of them. And it's constant, this thing, and I'm just like, either she's really, really sick, like as sick as they're making her out to be in half the episode, so there's a real problem there. And she goes, oh, I don't know how long I've got left because I've just passed out in a lift and I've just passed out on some stairs and I've just done this. However, at the same time, she's just led the entire army of her people from wherever the boat Morgan just got on to the tower.
I think you can possibly, and I say this, possibly sell it as whatever is impacting her is coming and going. It's coming in waves. You could possibly do that because that then could justify why she's able to walk 5 miles and lead an army, as you say, but then collapse the minute she walks inside the building or the lift or the stairs or, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. It seems a plot point for convenience now, which is, again, confusing. Now, from her sickness point of view, I want an answer on this. Like, literally, 7B for me was going to be all about what the hell is going on with Alicia.
Is she the cure or not? And
well, I'm starting to think not. I'm starting to think that she's leaving. I'm starting to think that this character is going to be killed off. Does that mean, then, that Madison returning is basically replacing Alicia?
Yeah, possible. Like, I have a feeling that she's going to die saving her mother.
That's a painful
But
thought.
I don't think she's going to know she's saving Madison until it's too late. It's going to be one of those, like, I don't know, she sees people walking towards the tower or something because of this transmission.
Yeah.
There's a group of people, half of them get in, a couple of them are surrounded and trapped.
Yeah.
They're all leaving the tower and she goes, no, look, we must go save those other people. And she takes a couple of people off to go save this group. She then dies, and as she's dying, she looks up and goes, oh, Mummy!
I'm thinking that perhaps, again, and I'm offering up an alternative here.
Yep.
I think perhaps when Madison arrives, Madison's actually going to be coming as part of this force, and the name escapes me, what they're called, the Civic Republic.
Oh, yeah.
I can only see that Madison, for Madison, for example, to pick up these coordinates and then arrive, will need to be arriving via helicopter or an equivalent, because how in the hell else? I personally feel that she's going to rock up with the Civic Republic. And I think the Civic Republic are going to take out the walkers outside, take the tower, and I think perhaps cure Charlie. Perhaps they'll be able to get her to a proper hospital. Perhaps they'll be able to do something with Alicia. Perhaps Alicia's storyline will become part of the whole science trying to fix the future arc.
Yeah, makes sense.
That we saw from the world beyond.
Yeah, that could work.
So, that's my thinking. That's my inkling. So that's my alternative to your idea. That's my alternative. But we will potentially then, based on the thumbnail for next week's episode, potentially get some answers on that. We will see. I mean, personally, I think for introducing Madison again, it's going to be a bottle episode talking about how she survived the diamond field and everything like that. So that'll be fun for everyone. Massive fan of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is this week's episode. That is Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 14, Divine Providence. Massive thank you to everybody for listening to us, basically moan for 45 minutes. Apologies. We will try our best to find plenty of positives in next week's episode.
Apart from the one shining beacon of Madison coming back. And
shining beacon. I like what you did there, my friend. Yeah. Until next week, everybody, you take care.
That's a wrap.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.